doctorarjaybe. And again, this is a training video. I just recently finished a video on interval training. This is kind of the opposite. The interval training is a very regimented form of training. You run for a distance and then you rest for a distance. And you're measuring the distances or you're measuring the time it takes you to do these distances. And so it's very, very regimented. The opposite of that is something called Fartlek. Fartlek. Fartlek is a Scandinavian term, which kind of means as you please or as you go. How this training goes is that you'll be running at a certain pace, which will be your base pace. And then you'll see something in the distance. Let's just see a bush, let's just say. And you'll say to yourself, okay, I'm going to run fast until I get to the bush, and then I'll go back to my usual speed. One of the people talk about it being speed play, because you're kind of playing around with the speed that you're going at. Now, we're not measuring how fast you go. We're not measuring the time that it takes. We're not measuring the distance. We're just saying, okay, there's a tree up ahead. I'm going to run fast until I get to the tree, and then I'm going to slow down again. So you can do this on any kind of course. If you're on a trail, you can do it. If you're on a golf course, you could do it. If you're on a bike trail, you could do it. Because all you're really doing is just saying, I'm going to run to that spot and then I'm going to slow down again. It's similar to an interval because you're going fast for a period of time and then you're going slow for a period of time. But because it's not being timed or checked, it's a little bit easier on your system. It's not so regimented. And so you could do this, like I said, anytime. Excuse me. One of the ways that I do this is if it's a day that's really hot, let's just say it's 90 degrees out. I don't want to really be out there for a long time when it's really hot because it means that I'm going to have to be exposed to the heat for a long period of time. So what I'll do instead is a fartlek training. I'll pick a distance. Let's say I'm on the bike trail and I'll say there's a tuft of grass over there. It's about 20 feet away, 50 feet away. I don't know. I don't measure it, so I don't know. But I'll just say I'm going to run to that spot at a faster pace. And then when I get close to that, I'll pick another spot out in the distance. Then I'll say, okay, I'm going to go slow until I get to this spot. And then I alternate that, one going fast and one going slow, but not measuring it. And if I want to do a little bit further distance, I pick a further distance. If I want to do a shorter distance, I pick a shorter distance. It's all eyeball. I'm not measuring it, so I'm just saying that looks like a good distance, so I'll go to that distance. Since this is not measured in any way, it's easy for you to compensate for things like hot temperatures or whatever, just by adjusting, how far you go. And if you feel like you're too out of breath, you just use shorter distances. If you feel like you're straining too much, pick a shorter distance. If you feel like it was too easy, you can run faster. If you feel it's too easy, you can run farther. So you kind of play around with this. I remember one of the great runners of the past. He was somebody who would train in the forest preserves in the area that he lived. He was up in Northern Europe area, and he did great. And they were talking to him about his training, and he mentioned that he runs quarter-mile distances. They asked him how many quarter miles does he do? His coach stepped in immediately and said, he does as many as he thinks he needs. He does them as fast as he needs. Then when he's done, he's finished. So it was kind of, again, like the Fartlek attitude. He was talking about quarter miles, but I don't think he was actually measuring the quarter mile. He's just saying, this looks like it's probably a quarter mile, and he ran it fast. And then this one looks like a quarter mile, and he ran it slow. As it turns out, his conditioning was so good. He was a great runner. He ran a lot of races. But his training style was not the same as other people who were doing their regimented intervals at that time. His intervals were just kind of like go as you please. But like I said, he got into fantastic shape by doing it that way. So this is, like I said, called Fartlek, and it's a way to get in shape without the stress of these regimented interval training things. Okay, take care.